Hi everybody, Morgana Galaxia here. Welcome to my channel. Glad to be back with you today. I wanted to get back on and kind of address a couple questions that I got, especially because I did the Cuomo reading yesterday. And basically I want to take a look today at if Cuomo's going to step down or if he's going to be removed or what's going to happen with him, and will he be replaced in New York by another Democratic governor? I also want to take a look at Texas's Governor Greg Abbott. As you know, he basically said the mask mandate is going to be gone in Texas, and at the same time, he's going to open the state up completely. And, a lot of people are really upset about that. It's going against the CDC guidelines. It's going against Biden's request for, a mask mandate for the first 100 days of his presidency. So let's take a look at Greg Abbott and how Texas is feeling about him right now. And maybe if, they have some trouble with COVID. Okay, so that's what I want to do today. And let's get started. Let's get started with Cuomo, since I took a look at him yesterday. So I heard his address today, the one where he was speaking very carefully, apologizing, saying he never touched anybody inappropriately, he never meant to offend or hurt anybody. He didn't mean it, and he didn't touch anybody, and it was all a big misunderstanding. All right. So, thanks, but no thanks, okay? That sounds all like a big bunch of crap to me. And, women have heard these lines forever. Oh, you misunderstood me. Just like I said yesterday, really? You're asking me about my sex life? You're asking me if I'm faithful to my husband? You're asking me if I ever slept with an older man? And that was misunderstood. Okay, how are you supposed to misunderstand that? All right. Oh my God, let me tell you this. So yesterday, I knew this thing was going on with Cuomo, right? So, but I hadn't really heard the allegations, and, this third woman came out. So I decided, well, let me go online and read up on at least one of these ladies and see, what these accusations are. So I did. I think is it Boyden? Her last name was Boyden. Read her account. Okay, fine. So last night, I just had this massive Cuomo dream. And it's kind of a long dream. I won't tell you the whole entire thing. But, so the dream was basically, I was in just this really crowded, packed room where we're all having a meeting, okay? And there was a big, long table, and I was sitting at this table. Andrew Cuomo was across from me, and, he just kept staring at me and, staring at me. And basically, it became pretty apparent that he was interested in me, and he was staring at me, and, that he liked me. And, it was funny because, at one point I kind of, got up from the table and tried to get lost in the room a little bit. And I remember thinking, that I was surprised, that he would like me because, he doesn't really like kind of heavier women. That was one of the items I read in that paper, in that description, that he kind of made fun of women's weight, right? And obviously I've got a little extra. But anyways, back to the dream. I was like, I'm surprised, that I thought he didn't like heavier women, but whatever. And, I wasn't, in my dream, I was a little younger, I was a little smaller, but regardless. So, he was just kind of staring at me, and I would, was leaving the table, leaving the room, and he was just kind of like looking out for me, and where am I? And, at one point, he gave me 3 paychecks, okay? So apparently, I guess I worked for him or in his administration. He gave me 3 paychecks. One of them was like in the mid to $300 range, and it was signed by Chris Cuomo. And the second one was like in the high hundreds, like 180 something bucks like that. So that was signed by Chris Cuomo. And there was a third check that was like 580 something bucks. So the biggest check. And that one was signed by C. Cuomo, and the handwriting was kind of sketchy. And in the dream, I was like, "Ooh, this looks kind of weird." And I knew the $300 check was for some work that I did. And the $100 and something check was for some overtime. But the highest check, the $580 one, I couldn't remember, what is this for? I didn't know what this money was for. And I was like, this is the biggest check, but am I going to have to give this back? What is he paying for? Is this a bribe? And I was just thinking about it and thinking about it. And eventually I kind of remembered, oh, okay, this is work that I did for him, that it was a valid check. So I was able to keep it. So, I had those 3 checks. And it wasn't until after I woke up that I realized, hey, that was Chris Cuomo who signed those checks, not Andrew Cuomo, which I thought was kind of weird. Why would Chris Cuomo and C. Cuomo be on these checks? So whatever. So a little bit later in the dream, I board this bus. It's a really busy bus terminal, and there's this bus, and there's all kinds of people on it. And I get on the bus, and Andrew Cuomo's on this bus, and Chris Cuomo is on this bus. And this is pretty funny because Chris Cuomo was pointing at Andrew and like whining at him and bitching at him and just complaining. And just the feeling I got was that Chris Cuomo was just this really whiny, annoying younger brother. And Andrew was just like, oh, God, And it wasn't that what Chris was saying was wrong. It was just he was so annoying, pointing at Andrew on this bus. So that, I kind of walked down the aisle of the bus and averted my eyes, and I kind of went towards the back. And, there's more to the dream, but that's pretty much all that there was about those 2 brothers. So I just wanted to share that with you. I thought that was pretty hilarious, given that I'd read that account yesterday, and obviously it seeped in. And yeah, for some reason, I put myself in the position of these women. So really strange. These checks were really strange. And the fact that they were signed by Chris or C. Cuomo, really strange. But yeah, the 2 brothers' interaction was pretty hilarious. So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you. And, if you're interested, if not, sorry I bored you. But, so, our first reading, let's look at Andrew Cuomo. And I guess, he said basically he's not going to resign. Okay, that's no big surprise to me. But let's see. So basically the viewer wanted to know if Cuomo would be replaced or followed up by another Democratic governor. So he's not going to resign. I really don't know if they can recall him, or, maybe he will eventually be pressured to resign. They're going to do an investigation. The report will come out. What happens, happens. But regardless of when he is no longer governor, will he be replaced by another Democratic governor? No. My thought is, yeah, New York's pretty blue, right? They have got a Democratic mayor, Democratic governor, right? Democratic senators. So it's a pretty safe bet. But let's take a look, shall we? So let's look at Cuomo's exit and the new governor for New York. All right. So let's look at the next transition to the next governor. The transition to the next governor. Let's see. So yesterday when I read on Andrew, I did get this Tower card for him. All right, so what are we looking at? So first off, we're going to start with the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. So, this is someone who's very smart, very practical, very generally honorable, who is, looking after their financial resources, making sure that they're set. Being the queen, you're responsible for, for others to make sure that everyone has their resources, that everything is, just good to go. Okay, so the Queen of Pentacles is just, I would say he's looking at his money. He's, making sure everything's good to go, everything's set. The challenge is the Star. So, the Star would be all those good things, optimism, hope, good luck, and just, the universe is showering its blessings upon you. So being in his challenge position, that tells me that, his fortune has turned. He's moving into a place where he's worried, he's concerned. There's going to be some low-grade depression there, or just worry. And, he thinks maybe his star is dimming. Any popularity he had is shrinking. His opportunity is dimming. The star's dimming. So he understands that he's in trouble, okay? He's in trouble. And this is a big trouble. This is a major arcana card, which means that this is very impactful. This is something in his life script, something that he's destined to experience. So, at this time, his star is falling, and he's worried, okay? He's definitely got some fears. So what's he going to be faced with? Here's the World card. And this is the World card is about the end. Okay, this is an ending card and a new beginning. So there's an ending and there's a new beginning. And this is what he's going to be faced with. And not just a small ending. Again, with this being a major arcana, it's the ending of a grand cycle. This could very well be the ending of his administration and a rebirth into a new administration. So, I didn't really try and pinpoint a time on this transition from one governor to the next. But, this is showing us there's an ending here that he's going to have to face, followed by a new beginning, something grand. Okay, so yes, I'm going to say for him, his administration, his governorship. What is foundational to this reading? And here is the Knight of Swords, and this knight is the fastest moving knight in the deck, and it brings swift change, and often, frankly, very difficult change, very difficult. And with that sword, this is an indication that you're looking at issues of honesty, of legality, truth and justice right there. That is the arena of quick change that's going to be coming for him in a very uncomfortable way, very dramatic way, okay? And that is foundational to this question of the shifting of governorship. So in the past, some of these cards look like yesterday. So here we are in the past with the Two of Swords, which is a crossroads, okay? A big decision has to be made, or I should say in the past has already been made. So I'm going to pull this back up now. So he has to make, or this isn't just about Andrew here. I'm asking about a transition. So I almost want to say these are like the voters, okay? This is New York. They're going to be, this decision's already been made. There's a crossroads here. So for Cuomo, obviously, it's to resign or not resign. He's decided to not resign. He's made that decision. But there's also an investigation, okay? An investigation, and he doesn't know what that's going to hold for him. He doesn't know what path is going to be opening up to him, or what kind of legal repercussions there's going to be. Yeah, he's feeling stuck. He can't move forward. He can't move forward because these issues of law need to be publicized, resolved first. But it's started, okay? It's already started. What is the energy moving into? Again, here's the Tower. So this is a crumbling of what was in order to make way for what's new. Okay, so this is very reminiscent of my reading yesterday for Andrew. But the question, okay, the question is he going to be replaced by another Democrat? So let's just move, I'm just going to move this little reading aside and say, this card right here definitely indicates that his ending is going to be unexpected. You know, this is a matter of his foundation cracking and falling out from under him. So this isn't planned. This isn't his choice. This isn't an easy transition. This is showing, you know, that it's crumbling. So this is definitely an indicator that one way or another, he's going to have a fall from grace here. He's going to be toppled. He's not exiting. He's being toppled. So he might be called, he might be forced to resign. So I'm just going to pull a couple extra cards here because we want to know about the next New York governor. You know, this is basically a yes or no question, so I'm going to keep it nice and short. Is the next New York governor going to be a Democrat? Is the next New York governor going to be a Democrat? Let's see. Okay. I'm going to say yes. Okay, so what I got here is a Page of Pentacles. Okay, so a new opportunity, this could be like a gift, a new financial opportunity, a new vote, okay? A lot of times this has been like a new vote card for me. So let's just say, okay, here's something new, something shiny, something new, a new vote for a new person. And with this Ace of Swords, this would be a yes card. So is he gonna be replaced by a Democratic governor? I'm gonna say yes, he is. Not only because this is essentially a yes card, but also because I feel that the Democrats are the only ones who are holding the sword of truth right now. The sword of truth and justice. That's where the Democrats are. They are the ones protecting democracy, right? Holding all these trials, trying to hold people to account, hunting down all these insurrectionists, starting all these investigations. They're the ones who are protecting American democracy right now. No Republican is holding this sword of truth and justice and honor at this time, okay? So this is a Democrat as far as I'm concerned, so I'm going to say yes. Whenever and however Andrew Cuomo gets toppled from the governorship, looks like he'll be replaced by a Democrat, someone who will uphold law, uphold justice, okay, and uphold honor. So the next person let's go to is Greg Abbott, Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Okay, this guy's a piece of work. There's so much to get into with this guy. Everything from, supporting Trump and that whole, suing other states to overturn other states' election. Remember that big letter by it was the Texas AG, but I think the governor played a role in that. And then, of course, this tragedy that happened with the polar vortex in Texas. This guy's, he's in the middle of a lot of storms, a lot of turbulence, a lot of negativity. Texas is really going through it right now. So instead of making things better, instead of helping Texans, what's he doing? He's endangering them even further. Removing the mask mandate, opening up the economy 100%, full open at the same time. Hey, let's open everything up and you don't have to wear your masks anymore, right? Giving the middle finger to the CDC, giving the middle finger to President Biden, totally disrespecting Biden's request for a 100-day mask mandate. But even worse, honestly, is he is endangering his constituents. He's endangering Texans, especially those foolish enough to think that they're bulletproof and they start going around, right? No mask, doing their thing. Let's go to restaurants. Let's go to bars. Let's go dancing. Hey, we don't need a mask anymore, right? So, endangering the very people that he's sworn to protect. What a piece of you-know-what. All right, Greg Abbott. Let's get into that. Greg Abbott. So I just want to do, let's see, how do we want to ask this? Let's see, okay, so with this action, right, the mask mandate and open the economy, what is going to be the outcome for Greg Abbott? What's his outcome? Okay. Let's bring it down. Let's see how Greg Abbott's going to, how he's going to fare with this decision. All right. So, Greg Abbott, here we are starting out with the sun. Interesting. Just one second. All right, everybody. So, Greg Abbott, and here we're starting with the sun. So what this is telling me is that this guy wants to open everything up, all right? He's kind of acting, I'm going to bring this up. He's kind of acting like, it's over. The sun is out. It's a brand new day. We can all go back to normal now. You don't need your mask. You can go back to work. Be optimistic. Be hopeful. He's just trying to kind of position himself where it's like a brand new day. Everything's okay. It's all over. The sun has shined and dawned on a new beginning, right? This is the kind of face that he is putting out there for everybody. And with this challenge card being the 10 of Wands, what this is telling me here is that part of the reason he's doing this is to offset or compensate for some of the challenges that he's been bungling, okay? So they've been making a lot of mistakes. Texas got hit really hard with COVID, this whole polar vortex thing with the electricity grid. I mean, they're just going through it in Texas right now. They're not, and all of it, all of the issues that he's been having, supporting Trump and the bogus thing that his AG did trying to overturn votes in other states. I mean, Texas has really been pushing the limits, really been being sketchy. And all of these burdens that he's been bearing, all of these burdens, I think, are just really overwhelming him. And I think he's trying to just lighten his load by currying favor with his voters. He thinks that all those Texans want this, okay? All those Republicans in Texas who don't believe, that COVID is a big hoax and, only Democrats are stupid enough to wear masks, are taking away our rights and they want to secede. All these dumb dumb people, he's trying to curry their favor. He's trying to get in good with that group. And I think it's just to compensate for all of his errors and everything he's been bungling. And he's just, he's messing up, and he's just trying to cover that up. I'm really sure that he's just trying to cover it up, mitigate it, distract people. Hey, look over here. Don't look at what I just dropped. Look at what I'm doing for you. I think that's the dynamic of why he's doing this. He's just, trying to make people like him again so they forget about all the garbage that he's been up to. All right. So what is he going to come face to face with? Here we have the Page of Cups. And what he's going to come face to face with is a newly mask-free, fully open Texas, and people going to restaurants, going to, bars, doing their thing, going to work, no mask. And guess what? They're going to be giving each other a little gift. And guess what that gift is? COVID. All right. So this is telling me right there that what he's going to have to come face to face with are people giving each other this gift, so to speak. So COVID, is a waterborne disease. It travels in, our breath and the water droplets and the moisture. And so it always shows up as some sort of water element. And here with this fish, that's the product of that COVID, is that disease, right? Here's all, the COVID going around, and, people are just going to be giving each other this disease. They're not protected. And it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight to vaccinate everybody. That's really ultimately what Greg Abbott is relying on. He's hoping enough people will get vaccinated. Well, let me rephrase that. I think everyone else in Texas is going to be relying on getting the vaccination. They're going to be like, okay, this is the only thing that's going to save us. This is the only kind of hope we've got, is this vaccine. But the governor himself, this is the energy he's bringing into this situation. And this is the Moon card, which tells me that he has not grasped the reality of the situation. He is most likely one of those COVID is a hoaxers, okay? He's the one who thinks wearing a mask is garbage, and, that it's just that the economy should be open. It's not worth closing down over something like this. He's not in touch with the reality. He's disillusioned. He has no clarity about the truth of the situation. He's self-deceptive. He's lying to himself, all right? This is the sort of mental fog, the mental haze that he's bringing into this situation. This is why, he thinks that this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and he's just using it again to kind of distract people away from all the crap that he's been doing. But he's going to come smack face to face with some COVID numbers, okay? So he can start looking for infection rates to go up, deaths to go up. Maybe they'll get another variant in there wiping people out. People are going to be getting together in groups and spreading this disease around. And so what is the energy that this whole situation is moving into? Here we have the Knight of Cups. And this is telling me that he's going to have to be rescued, okay? Not him personally, but the state of Texas. All those citizens in Texas, everyone who lives there, they're going to have to be rescued, okay? This is really Biden sending in the vaccine. This is what's so great about Biden as president. He's not doing that red state, blue state garbage like Trump did, right? Yeah, Texas can act like an ass. Greg Abbott is acting like an ass. If it were Trump, he'd be like, screw you, you're not getting any vaccine, right? To any governor who went against what he wanted to do. Be like, screw you, no vaccine for you. Kind of like he did to Cuomo in New York, right? But Biden's not doing that. That is not the kind of president that he is. Even though Greg Abbott is sitting there on his high horse, just completely disregarding Biden's 100-day mask mandate, completely disregarding CDC guidelines, he is not going to punish Texas for that, okay? He's going to be like, dang, we need to get that vaccine in there ASAP to save as many Texans as possible from Greg Abbott's failed leadership, from Greg Abbott's poor decisions, from his not caring if Texans died. Do you think he gave a crap at those Texans who died when when they lost power? Clearly not. He's going to have to be rescued. The people of Texas are going to have to be rescued. Biden's going to have to come in, send his people in there on their white horses with their little vaccinations, and make up for what Greg Abbott is doing to the state of Texas. So that's how I see it. That's what the cards are telling me for Abbott. All right. That's really, it's unfortunate for Texas, but thank God we have a president who cares about every American, okay? Regardless of what state you're from, regardless of how crappy your governor is, regardless of how in denial you want to be, he's going to send you that vaccination because he's trying to save your life, all right? And clearly, Texas Governor Greg Abbott don't give a crap. All right, so I'm going to leave Greg Abbott at that. And actually, I think I'm going to just leave it at that. Trying to make my videos a little shorter. So that is what I'm getting there. I'm so glad that you are with me and that you visited my channel again. And I hope that you'll come back. And if you like it, click like. And I'd love you to subscribe. And past that, I will see you very shortly. All right, take care, everybody. Bye.